Laurie. Thank you so very much for such a really interesting presentation on copyright and Creative Commons licensing. I thought you did a really nice job on all aspects of your presentation. I thought the wiki as a starting place for the content, I guess, as a parking lot for the main content of your presentation was a good choice. And I did think that then including the glogsters for both topics was phenomenal. Certainly you took on a lot here because this is a huge topic, and then trying to cover both copyright and Creative Commons made it even bigger. So I appreciate that you focused on both aspects of that and didn't simply look at one or the other. Um, I also thought that having your wiki as the starting place for a set of resources that would support all of the nets or organized using the nets for teachers was a good idea, and I'll be interested to see how you kind of flesh out the rest of these details and the rest of this wiki as you go along. On this page of the wiki, I thought you provided us with a lot of really interesting links and information. Um, One sort of suggestion or comment that I had as I was reading through it would be to just provide a little bit more information about each of these links. It wouldn't have to be a lot, but just a sentence or two explaining what it is people are going to find or see when they actually click on the link. Sometimes the links with just the titles like this doesn't really give you a good sense of exactly what's going to be on the other end when you click on it. Again, not a huge big deal, just a kind of a comment or a suggestion from a user perspective. I'm glad that you included Rod Lucier's work. I think his stuff is really important, and because he's Canadian, it's even more important for Canadian teachers and teacher librarians to know. And certainly Flickr CC Blue Mountain is one of my favorite resources for finding images, so I'm glad that you introduced people to that as well. I know the bulk of your presentation is found on these glogsters, and I just have to say they're lovely. You did a really nice job with them. I know you kind of mixed and matched a little bit and didn't exactly follow the black and white way I had set out the assignment, and I was really interested to see how you had done that. And so combining sort of the virtual presentation part of it with your cheat sheets in this glogster I thought was a really good idea. And I'm glad that you kind of thought outside the box a little bit and were able to really not follow the letter or follow the assignment to the letter, but still include all of the required elements and aspects of the assignment. I was glad to see that you included some multimedia in your glogster, not only other people's content like the links to the videos and that kind of thing, but also, and here I've got it up on a bigger screen here, your podcast, which is a really good way of making sure people understand what you're talking about and where you're coming from. I loved your comic books. I thought they were a really engaging way of sharing information and sharing content in a fun and interesting format. And it was fun to see both you and Tracy modeling, and then also your daughter, of course, and her friend. FlipSnack is not a tool that I was familiar with, so I was very much appreciative of the fact that you introduced me and other people to a new tool, although that's certainly an aside. But I really did think that the comic books were a really interesting way of presenting some content that could be fairly complex or somewhat difficult to understand. So I think altogether as a complete package, the wiki, the comic books, the glogsters with all of the various content and other information, I think you've done a really nice job of pulling it all together in a very interesting package. So I appreciate all your hard work. I know it was a bit of a stressful journey for you, and that you probably at times wondered why in the world you thought doing all of this was a good idea, but I think in the end it was very much worthwhile, and I very much enjoyed spending quite a bit of time actually going through all the various elements that you've put together here. So again, thank you very much and great job.